Looking at you disgusts me. The words hit me like an ice-cold slap across the face, lingering in the silence of our dimly lit living room. My chest tightened, a rhythm of disbelief and hurt hammering through me. I wanted to laugh, to shake my head, to call it a joke, but the cold, sharp edge in her eyes told me it wasn't. This wasn't playful. This wasn't one of our arguments that dissolved into awkward apologies. No, this was final. I stepped back, letting my hands fall at my sides. Pretending is over, I said quietly, almost to myself, though she heard. It wasn't bravado. It was exhaustion. The kind that comes from months of ignoring small cracks in a relationship until they widen into chasms. My voice carried a strange calm, but inside, my heart was a storm of rage, confusion, and heartbreak. She sneered. "You're such a fool. I can't believe I wasted my time." Her words ricocheted in my mind as I sank into the sofa, staring at the floor. The coffee table between us felt like a battlefield strewn with years of lies. I remembered how we used to sit here, laughing over late-night snacks, sharing our dreams. That warmth now felt like a cruel memory, a film that someone else had acted out while I blinked away in trust. I needed proof, I realized, not just words, not just the venom in her voice. Proof. But when I asked, when I pushed, she smirked and deflected, leaving a trail of frustration and denial in her wake. Yet, something had been off for months. The small things, the sudden late nights at work, the quiet tension in her phone conversations that she ended as soon as I entered the room, the way her touch became distant, perfunctory. I had ignored it, telling myself it was paranoia. I had believed her, or perhaps I wanted to believe her. Her brother, Michael, entered the room as if drawn by the storm crackling between us. His eyes flicked from her to me, confused and uneasy. "Everything okay?" he asked, voice low, hesitant. He never asked unless he sensed something was wrong, and the tightness in his jaw betrayed his instinct. "Everything's fine," she lied instantly, her voice sweet and sharp at the same time. But Michael didn't look convinced. I could see it in the subtle twitch of his eyes, the way his hands clenched slightly at his sides. I leaned forward, locking eyes with her. "No, it's not fine," I said, my voice stronger now, carrying the weight of months of suppressed suspicion. "I see it. I see everything." Her lips curled into a mocking smile. "See what exactly?" she asked, the words dripping with sarcasm. "You know," I said softly, letting the silence stretch and coil around her. "The lies, the excuses, the late nights at work. I know who you've been seeing." Her face went pale, almost imperceptibly at first. Then she laughed, a short, brittle sound that felt more like shattering glass than amusement. Michael's hand flew to his mouth. I realized, in that heartbeat, that I had crossed a line I had been circling for months. "What are you talking about?" she whispered, though her voice betrayed her. "Stop pretending," I said, rising from the sofa. My eyes burned with a mix of sorrow and anger that made my voice tremble, though I fought to keep it steady. "I've seen the texts, the hidden messages, the late-night calls. I know everything, and I won't, pretend anymore that this is okay." Michael's face turned ashen. "Wait, she," he stammered, but I cut him off with a sharp look. "Don't," I said, my tone icy. "You don't have to protect her anymore." Her hands shook. I had never seen her like this. Vulnerable, panicked, real. The mask had cracked. And in that moment, I realized the depth of betrayal was matched only by the depth of my grief. It wasn't just that she had strayed. It was that the life we had built, the trust we had shared, had been a stage, and I was the only actor unaware. She tried to speak, to deny, to justify, but the words caught in her throat. I could see the fear in her eyes, the desperation to rewind time, to erase months of secret deception. But it was too late. The truth was out, and nothing could mend the fractures in my heart. Michael finally stepped forward, voice trembling. We didn't mean for you to find out this way," he said, looking between us. His loyalty was torn, but even he understood the weight of what had been done. I shook my head, feeling both anger and sorrow swirl together, a storm that threatened to undo me. "It's over," I said simply, not yelling, not pleading, just stating the reality of what had been ripped from me. I loved you. I trusted you. And now I see who you really are. She crumpled to the floor, tears streaking her cheeks. But it was not remorse I saw. It was a panic of being caught, the fear of consequences. I felt a strange clarity in that moment. I had been drowning in doubt, in denial, but now I was free from fog. Painful, yes, devastating, yes, but free. I turned to leave, but paused at the doorway. One last look at the woman I had loved, once more than life itself. She looked smaller now, diminished by her own choices, and I felt the cold, heavy weight of finality settle over me. Michael didn't follow. He stood frozen, conflicted, helpless in the shadow of betrayal. I wondered if he would carry guilt for years, or if he would, somehow, forgive himself for what had been done in secret. But that was not my burden to bear. My burden had been hers, and I would not carry it for her. As I stepped outside into the night air, the cool wind hit my face like a cleansing wave. The house behind me was silent, but in my chest, my heart still roared. I had been blindsided, shattered, deceived, but I had survived. I had faced the storm, seen the truth, and refused to collapse beneath it. For a long time, I walked the empty streets, letting the raw, aching grief pulse through me. The betrayal would not define me. I told myself. The lies, the deceit, they belonged to her. I had my life, my integrity, and eventually I would find peace. But for now, I allowed myself to feel it all. Every stab of heartbreak, every twinge of anger, every whisper of lost love. And in that unbearable, beautiful darkness, I realized something vital. The end of a lie is always the beginning of truth, and though it hurt like hell, I had finally found mine.